Hi, my name is Sterling Hart, and this is Dreamlight, where we work with dream interpretation and using the insights in the waking life. Do past lives come up in dreams? And how would we know? Basically, you have to rely on insight and self-knowledge. There are different levels of dreams. The two main ones are the subconscious and the subliminal. Most dreams are subconscious dreams. They reflect what you are focused on during the day. The thoughts you have about the world we live in, your story, which for many people, this is their daily life at their job or school. Some are more focused on relationships, family, and all of these play out in the dream with symbols of our emotions, ideas, and roles. These can be well organized or rather chaotic and obscure. These dreams are a window into the subconscious influences. They show us past conditioning, traumas, habits, the emotions and moods that shape our waking reactions and perceptions. This is what most dream interpretation looks for. When you develop that awareness, you can begin to have the same insights from your dream interpretation in the waking life. You can spot the undercurrents of your mind. The second type are subliminal dreams, which contain experiences of deeper awareness. This is not the subconscious based in memory and conditioning, but a wider consciousness that appears in waking life as intuition, seeing the flow, or experiencing your ability to manifest. For some, it is the sense of feeling what is true and what you should do, or a sense of how things will play out. The subliminal aspect of the self is in contact with the subtle reality and can see and communicate with others, people like ourselves or guides, even beings of subtle worlds, people known and unknown. So the subliminal self can receive and show us hidden influences from our surroundings. It can and does act on these planes. It has access to a greater knowledge. So this appears in dreams. We can get messages from the deceased, foresee to some extent what is coming in the future, and can sometimes experience past life memory. The subliminal consciousness is below the subconscious, so you have to withdraw from the waking consciousness, which happens during sleep. We are no longer conscious of our surroundings. The thinking mind quiets and disappears, and then we have to withdraw still further to escape the subconscious, which is active in normal dreaming. From here, we reach the subliminal awareness. So this part of your night journey is largely unremembered. However, by paying attention to dreams, you will find that elements from the subliminal enter into the subconscious dreams, and eventually you will have more memory of the subliminal ones. Now, subliminal dreams are either a memory of these experiences of subtle reality, or they are experiences that get symbolized into a dream language, just like the waking life does. You move from the subliminal back into the subconscious activity before returning to waking, carrying this memory. It gets translated into the symbolic language. So, for instance, you dream of a relative who gives you a message and wake to find out that they died in the night. This would be some sort of experience. Or you can have someone who dreams of being in a forest and looking for a ghost. Then later in the day you find that there is a car accident nearby and responders are out searching along the river in the woods for someone believed to be in the car and was ejected in the accident. This foreshadowing of an event is a precognitive dream, but it is a symbolic representation. The event was put into dream language. We also run into the problem of subconscious and subliminal dreams getting mixed together, so part of the dream may have subliminal elements, but be within the context of a subconscious dream. Parts of the dream may stand out while other parts seem ordinary or obscure. So to know if it is a past life, you should be able to distinguish between these two types of dreams. If you're used to interpreting dreams, and you know what your normal dreams are like, then a dream containing a past life will stand out. But if the dream can be interpreted normally, then it probably isn't a past life. One of the things to pay attention to is the emotion on awaking. Usually you will feel elated or inspired, or you will be very energized. That is something that subliminal dreams do, but the nature of the content can also carry other emotions, such as fear. Also, these dreams will typically be vivid. Subliminal dreams can be rare to common depending on your development, but past life elements are rare, with the exception of some reoccurring theme in a dream. Something where you get the same life theme. They tend to be of three kinds, though anything is possible. The first is where you are shown by your higher self or a guide or some nameless force that shows you who you were. These dreams have the theme of being revealed or unveiled and will carry more information about the past life. These can be in first or third person. You can also meet your former self. The second is where you have an image and knowledge of the situation as if you were there. It is the memory itself, so to speak. The third is not so much a past life memory as about the idea of past lives. These can happen with seeing someone with a changing face or a parade of people in different kinds of dress related to different cultures and time periods, something that represents many lifetimes. Past life dreams often have very little in the way of memories, things like your name or where you are or the year. Usually they are just glimpses, a single scene, and maybe an understanding or knowing of the situation. Now, it is good to note that the exception is young children. They can have more vivid and complex types of memories of their last incarnation. Usually they know this while awake. The thing to keep in mind is to stay grounded. If it is a memory of a past life, then the memory itself is usually not that important, but the explanatory power that it has in self-understanding is. That is the key point. Working with dreams is often about overcoming or freeing yourself from your past habits and conditioning, making yourself less reactive and more inwardly happy without the need of outward conditions. So dredging up the past and dramatizing it is to be avoided. Your imagination is easy to sweep away into a past life. It's like being absorbed in a movie. The ego may want to claim the former powers of the self. For instance, if you dream that you were once an accomplished musician, part of the ego will want to have that same ability. Past lives can present themselves like time travel, where there is a story you want to hear. Looking into past lives is usually not very helpful, as the ego and desires quickly make up stories and dramatize things, so it is difficult and uncertain unless there is a strong need or intention to see the roots of some specific issue related to the present. But when there is some change within you, when you are going through a transformation or self-revelation, then they can appear and give profound insight. Part of the difficulty is that you can dream of anything. You can dream you are another person, even a celebrity. It can be first person or third person point of view. You can even have both in the same dream. You can have an abstract dream. No body, anything is possible. So you have to be able to work with dreams and know yourself well enough to see if it is an ordinary dream using a metaphor, a symbol dressed in something from the past, or whether it is a subliminal insight. Note, if it is not a past life memory, it can still be valuable and provide insight. The insight is important, rather than feeling unsure and needing to decide what's real. Another key point is that with the insight you get from a past life dream, you have to be careful not to fill in details not contained in the dream. This is known as filling. If you dream you are in sailing ships at sea, and then you pass through a door and you are suddenly in a modern apartment, the mind sometimes will fill in the gap with an explanation or notion of how you got there suddenly. It creates a segue to explain it. So is it a past life memory? If you are focused on the past person rather than how that connects to your present life circumstances, then it is probably not a past life dream. If, on the other hand, you suddenly understand yourself, what issues you have had in life, what experiences or themes, then it is more likely. If you were shown it by a guide or something similar, then the feeling and the vividness are good markers. Also, there is the confirmation. Often you will experience something in the waking time linked to the past life dream that will tell you more about it. For instance, if you dream you were condemned for your religion and chained to a bench rowing on a ship, and you felt some sense of self that was larger than your individual life, some greater purpose and identity as you looked at those chained around you, chained with you, then later that day, or a short time after, someone gives you a chain with a religious symbol as a gift. This is what we would call a confirmation. A subconscious dream will produce an insight into how some memory of the past, some experience or situation, something you were taught or picked up from your family, or a feeling that you had about a circumstances colors your view. Past life memory will give you some indication why something happened or is happening to you, but will tend to also represent some greater insight. So these can be similar insights. You can have insights into your conditioning from the past, or you can have insights from conditioning from an even greater past. But one of them is basically a psychological subconscious dream, and the other is an insight into a much larger, wider self from the subliminal. Let's look at some examples. So I talked to a friend that dreamed she was led by an unseen presence that sometimes comes in her dreams into a large house that seemed royal. She passed through a window and saw a woman sitting focused on sewing. There was a feeling of familiarity and a sense of meditative quiet. She knew that she had never married. A voice said, "You have never left the grounds." The friend said that she thought it was a past life, that she was always drawn to meditation, but also didn't like to stay indoors much. She had a job as a photographer and traveled all over, specializing in photographing products in natural settings. She thought of it as a reaction to being cloistered. Another example was someone I worked with dreamt of a situation where they saw a stack of wood leaning against a log cabin. The image of the wood was very vivid, and in the dream he knew he was sick, but he had to get more wood before winter. He knew in the dream that he was farming and had a family with very young children. On working with the dream, he related it to a fear of not doing enough. And he would go to work no matter what, even with pneumonia. He was trying to let go of this workaholic tendency and the fear. He pondered the idea of it being a past life on the frontier in early America. So the main thing is to be open and not concerned with the proof, but just focus on the valuable insights the dream can provide for you in the waking life. If you get something out of this video, please hit the like. If you want more dreams, hit subscribe. If you want to support the channel, use the Patreon link below in the description. Till next time.